Welcome back to this edition of Grizzlies Daily. I'm your host, Melek, and let's just jump straight into it. The NBA draft is officially over, and the Grizzlies have made their picks. They made three picks, including the first round pick, obviously being Cedric Coward. As I told y'all yesterday, a lot of people love the pick. So, a lot of people kind of skeptical of the pick because of the whole getting older conversations. If you don't know, obviously Zach Kleiman kind of said that the team wanted to move into a not necessarily a younger direction, but he still wants to keep the youth involved, which can be questionable when it comes to building a championship team. I know we just saw OKC, one of the youngest teams to win, but that team is kind of different. They were somewhat all established, not necessarily rookies or second year players. So I'm not too sure about that one. But yeah, Zach Kleiman basically kind of giving trust in the youth. So if you don't know, obviously Cedric Howard in the first round. Then with the 48th pick, I believe it was Javon Small. He's a guard that, from what I'm hearing from people, actually might be similar to John Morant's game. So that'll be interesting. Not too sure how I necessarily feel about that, but I'm all for it. Looked at his highlight tape, and he's got some similar traits to John Morant. And then obviously that third one, being a guy from Tennessee, I just had the notes right here, y'all. Sorry about that. But yeah, no, with the Grizzlies' last pick, the 59th pick, because they traded the 56th pick to the Warriors. Um, the Grizzlies got Jamai Mashak. I want to say I'm pronouncing that right. But basically got them from Tennessee. Well, I believe that trade was in the Rockets. I'm not too sure on the facts of that one because it was conflicting tweets. But yeah, that's just basically the draft for the Grizzlies. I like the direction that it went. Obviously, Coward being a good pick. Great, can't wait to see how he pans out. The other two, not too sure where they're gonna fit in. Obviously, they're probably gonna develop in the G League or something. So no real telling on how they'll go. But at the same time, though, I'm sure they'll all have the chance to be in the summer league for the Grizzlies. If you didn't know, I believe it is. We reported it earlier, but it's not really confirmed quite yet. So basically, the Grizzlies will be participating in the Salt Lake City Summer League. Not too sure on that, but if they are participating in it, it'll be from July 5th to the 7th and the 8th, and then obviously you got the California Classic around that time as well, and then they go up to UNLV where they take place in the Las Vegas Summer League. So, yeah, so that'll be a time where we can see a lot of these guys play on the court because obviously with Coward, to me, it's really just that shoulder injury because he already kind of has a loose handle. So if he doesn't really hold on to his handle, it'd be hard to kind of play him in certain situations. So that's something that I'm really looking for when it comes to him. The other two, I kind of just want to see how they mesh well. What does Zach Kleiman exactly see? Because second round talent can be kind of tricky. Now, with the Grizzlies, obviously we found second round gems, but that came from other guys not playing or other guys being injured. So it's kind of hard to say how exactly they can pass the eye test, especially with the year that the Grizzlies are going into. Doesn't look like it'll be a year where they find a diamond in the rough, just kind of like that. Although they have found a few, one including Cam Spencer, which we're not sure what they're gonna do with him. But it should be interesting to see these guys play well in summer league. I mean, it's not really much I can say about them. I know I'm familiar with some of them, but at the same time, kind of not. So it's really just all about doing a film, and hopefully with Summer League we get a chance to really do that in a NBA game setting at least. So something like that. Now, really, something that we really should get into because this was also kind of confirmed by Zach Kleiman in a media briefing after day one of the draft. When he touched on a few things, he touched on the Desmond Bain trade, the pick for Cedric Howard, and then he also mentioned how he basically wants the team to. I have it right here from my guy Matt Enfield. So it says Grizzlies GM Zach Kleiman says Jaren Jackson Jr.'s contract extension is a significant priority, but he also says we certainly like to bring Santi back. So my opinion on this, I was a firm believer that it probably would be Santi's last year here, just because of the rumors that were going around, and necessarily Like, where would he go? Because we weren't really seeing anything about an extension during the season or anything like that. So it was kind of seeming like there was a possibility where the Grizzlies would let him test free agency or they develop him in a sign and trade. But unfortunately, none of those rumors really are progressing. So no real telling on that. I know at first we reported that the Pistons at least were looking into a sign and trade for Santi, but without that, it's kind of weird to say where he'll go now. But it seems like the Grizzlies are willing to work a deal with him. It's just a matter of what can you give him, because obviously if you don't give him enough money, it's more than likely because of the extension that you had to get Jaren Jackson Jr. So that's something else that we really need to kind of remember as well. That Jaren Jackson Jr.'s contract is going to be significant for the team, honestly, and luckily it won't mess up too many people's contracts or players on the team at least. But if they can find a way to if they can find a way to really just get more guys, like more veterans, then I don't see the problem in re-signing Santi. He was developing pretty well, but obviously it's not necessarily happening. So can't really say too much on that. But really, right now we are officially in the off season. Yeah, and right now we just fast forward. I got my notes right here. Right now we just fast forward to the all season, and basically it's a matter of can they fill the spots that they absolutely needed to fill? Because I'm still a firm believer that the Grizzlies need a center. They need a center, and if they don't get that center, they're going to be put in a bad spot because we're talking about not having Zach Edey for the first 3 months of the year. So you really have to think, who can we put in place of him? And obviously, it'll be kind of weird putting Brandon Clark back in that position because he's also coming off an injury. So yeah, absolutely need to get a veteran, and hopefully in the center position as well, somebody that'll really take the role seriously. But I mean, I know we reported some reports possibly of Cam Johnson and some other players around the league, just in general about rumors with the Grizzlies. Right now, it's really nothing. Hopefully, tomorrow we'll finally see something out of the teams had their draft picks and getting the teams kind of finalized or preparing to finalize with free agency coming up. So, hopefully, that's something we hear about more so down the line. And obviously, I'm going to be on top of that for y'all. So, be on the lookout for it. But that's all I got for this edition of Grizzlies Daily. If you like the video, make sure to like it, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you are in the know for when we upload. And obviously, leave your comments. Let me know what you think about the picks that the Grizzlies got and where you think they could possibly fit, or if you even like the picks at all. So make sure to let me know in the comments below. As for the edition of Grizzlies Daily, I'm your host, Malik, and I'm signing off.